Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Fimigada African. Mwari mukurukuru. Fimigada African. Mwari mukurukuru. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I and I will worship no God. We can't hear the words of the African tongue. I and I will worship no God. We can't dance to the beat of the African drum. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Rhythm, 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 rhythm and sounds. Rhythm and sounds through streets and towns. Reconstruct your cerebral compound, Sankofa style. And we was born the most virile and fertile child in any era. We're African. In any era, we just can't stop creating. We form directly from the earth when we write. And master the ability to emit sound at the speed of light. Approach your battlefield fully equipped and airtight. When we approach our enemies, it's not a struggle, it's a fight. Purpose to every syllable when we get lyrical. Construction of a Christ-like miracle, for we were never supposed to bring forth these conceptions. Just couldn't fight the urge of real, authentic, natural Christ, anointed by nature, enough to manifest God-like behavior. Now we combine divine energies, freedom fires we evoke. Breath, vibrate air molecules and keep the flame stoked. Avid student in the class of liberation, lifeboats, these quotes remain melodic because we make the right notes like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Mama Africa, Aya go free Africa, Mama Mama Africa. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you, there. It's an honor. It's an honor. It's an honor. My name is Shakara. I'm a spoken word artist. I'm a Pan-African organizer from birth. I'm also the director of a media institution called Kimbunga Media. And so if you want to find me, you can find me Kimbunga. Me is a word which is spoken in a number of different languages that are referred to as Bantu, one of which is Kiswahili. And it simply means whirlwind, storm. And as a student, as a child of the most honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who said, look for me in the whirlwind, look for me in the storm. And so we consider ourselves the energy of our ancestors, particularly our ancestors who fought on our behalf, who lived their lives and gave their lives so that we could have a better life. And so we are an energy force that continues the work of our ancestors. And in this dispensation of time, the unfinished mission is the freedom, the liberation of our people. And so Kimbunga Media is simply a vessel for channeling that message and generating that energy. And if we understand the energy of the whirlwind as a force of creation, there's many things that we could get into. But that's what we call it Kimbunga Media. It represents the spirit, the undying spirit of African liberation, that consciousness of African liberation, and how we manifest the best of ourselves when we imbibe that spirit of our ancestors and do our work. And so please, feel free to get in contact with me through one of those mediums. Shakara speaks on everything, on everything, as well as Kimbunga Media. Tatenda, thank you very much for listening.
I would like to ask the Bira players, the two guys, he has incorporated Mkomano Mbira Uribane. The Mbiras are still here. The one in the corner there wasn't it?
No, that's not it. That's not it.
You guys have not listened to the Mbira. You have not listened to the conversations of the past. Come, pick up your instruments. When you are listening to the Mbira, it's not just the music. I want you to listen to the stones from which the iron is forged from. These are memories of millions of years. To beat them, one process. To melt them, it's another process. To forge them, it's another process. To thin them into tunes, it's another process. By the time you are listening to the sound of the leader, start playing, guys, don't know what about me. Maybe Mama Sasa or anything, that is fine. Or Chipembere or... By the time I'm hearing these drops, I'm not lying to you. If you close your eyes, it sounds like water flowing over. But this is metal, this is brittle. But when it is played, it is soft inside the heart. And I wish I wish Africa can begin to listen to the voice of the mirror. Go on your YouTube, on your Instagram, and start getting your ear familiar to the sounds, messages, premonitions of ancient spirits. That is Zimbabwe, the home built out of stones. Before you build Zimbabwe, which is a house built out of stone, Zimba is house. Zimba, it is a kingdom. Before you build a kingdom, build families, build people. So to make an empire, we understood the three laws of power. Individual responsibility, individual preservation, which moves into family preservation. From family preservation into community preservation. The continent is waiting for us on the other end. And from the me to the we to the all of us. The Mbira music is a sacred sanctuary for the African to hear the echoes of the stones. I wonder how many of you can hear me. The stones are the oldest survivors of this civilization. Stones. And if those stones can make music for you, what do they remind you of? They were here, these stones, when your great fathers were here. Why? Life is about vibration. Let's go. And the Mbira is 7 songs. Maybe, I think next year, can we agree? Next year, this time, on this date, same place, be sitting in the same chair, put on a diary. I will make it bigger for you. I'll make it bigger. You'll be sitting right here, I'll be sitting right here. Put in your diary. We'll make this idea bigger and begin to create that nucleus of influence. Please mark your chair. Mark your chair. Mark your chair. Next year, this weekend, next year to be Tuesday, is it? No, Wednesday or Tuesday?
You want the days?
No, on the day.
The 20th.
Yeah, so next year to be one day.
It will be boom back for.
Oh, so next year, 20th. No,
Depends on what day it is.
next year, same time, in the same chair. I want you sitting right there. So even when death is approaching you this year, just wait a little bit. I have an appointment. You can take me after the appointment. Let's make it this bigger.
20th is a Tuesday.
I'll bring a much bigger group from Africa to come and stand here. Maybe 3 years later, this place will be much, much smaller. But I'll bring another 4, 5, or 6 people here with the proper thing, with drums and etc. So you can be sitting here next year. Next year, you can be sitting here. You know where you are sitting, right? So don't bother. Don't. Right there. Next year, this time, I'll have a bigger group here. And you can experience this sound at a much, much better level. You can grow together. DJ, with your stick right there. I wish I had a universe. I would just freeze this and I play it again next year. We're going to be here. We want to start developing an African consciousness movement, and some of you have influence. I'm building a village in Zimbabwe, a prototype, which I would want to duplicate in Ghana and in Zimbabwe.
In Nigeria, that's coming up.
No, okay. You couldn't just allow us to have Nigeria, and I bet you if there was South African, you'd say, and South Africa, you know. But to create a cultural village for rites of passage, or even when we're in diaspora, we can maybe put our heads together as parents. You all have money, that's why you're here. If you don't have money, you know someone who has money. We can get one of the forests around here, or the bush around here, where you can send your children over certain seasons. We sit with them, we train them, we develop them, we initiate them into African culture. Because what's the use of you being here making so much money and your children no longer who they are, no longer know who they are, where they come? I think there's a problem. When you take your children back to Africa and they think that their grandmother is a witch, and that grandmother gave birth to your father, gave birth to your husband, and you are there as a mother confused. Modern children who are on Twitter and Instagram. So we can do something locally so that we don't reproduce children in the likeness of the colonial system, but we bring them up in our own culture. And I think I met with the Ghanaian embassy today, and he says to the sponsor, I'm sorry, the African needs nothing. He has everything. I found them sitting under the trees, playing their drums and smoking their pipes. They are okay. They need nothing. And guess what they're to bring for us in terms of trade? Shells. Come on, stand up. That thing on his neck, they brought shells and beads and the pieces of cloth to trade for ivory, gold, which we had in abundance. There was no business between us and the colonialists. We needed nothing from the colonialists except fashion for our women. Bracelets, and beads, and shells, which we used to use it as dowry and currency in the olden times. When your daughter is getting married, we would send 1,000 shells, go and marry your daughter. That's how, quote unquote, poor we were. When you need nothing, and all you need are shells from the sea. So you cannot begin to look even into the modernity of business, where you are selling land for pieces of paper instead of conducting a transaction. Give me a bunch. I saw the other day a video that made me very sick. A whole American factory that is just photocopying these papers. And they're cutting them into the papers. 18 cents a piece, that is $100. 18 cents. That's how much it costs to print $100 in American dollars. A $100 bill costs 18 cents. How many? And then they pile 18 cents pieces of paper. And they come to Africa and they buy 16 tons of gold with papers. Now, if you're economically circumcised, you know how angry you must become. But literally, you bring me a bag because there is a trust concept that these papers are worth so much. But in reality, these papers are so much. With no offense to a British currency, it's just photocopying pieces of paper. You can't sell land for papers. Land is our history. We don't own it, it owns us. From it we came, to it we shall return. Any man who sells land sells the future of his own children. I think they are arguing who must have the most carry amongst us. No, I think on a lighter note, we walk to the past to understand the present. We walk to the past to project into the future. And I think I passed one of my most unfamiliar statements on my pages when I said, we are looking backwards at the future. Because until we understand these basic sciences and knowledges of the past, we may think that we are progressing, when in fact, through the loss of language, we are losing knowledge. Mususu is a tree in Karanga, which is a green tree, and your intestine is called susu. If you don't know, mususu heals susu. Now, when you lose language, you're not just losing the language, you're actually losing the knowledge between humanity and nature. You won't know 10 years from now that mususu heals susu. So if you have a problem with your gut, you must eat mususu, because mususu heals the susu. Susu is the upper abdomen of your thing. So language is not just language. Language is a science. Because inside that language is the identification of plants, herbs, animals, and etc., which helps us, therefore, to create an anthropological, sociological, survival technique around our plane and our fields as Africans. Nungu Chipembere, Mutondo, Musasa, Mutoa, Munanga. Munanga means what? Nanga means go straight. Munanga, Chinanga, that which pulls you when you are walking in this direction and puts. So why did they give this tree this name, Chinanga? Mukanya Kude, the one who shines from far. So what is the use of this tree? Mukanya Kude. When you bathe with this thing, you are able to be seen from far. And you look at all this beautiful language, and it introduces you both to your conversation and nature that is around you. Therefore, we are also advocating as farmers of thought, the more we begin to appreciate and understand and use our languages, we'll be able to start understanding our environment and then tap into that knowledge, the science of our ancestors. Modzi means root in Zimbabwe. Mai means mother. Modzi. Mai, the root is your mother. Mo, mother. Zi, root. Mo. Inside your mother is your history. Mo, zi, mo. If you want your ancestor, the first ancestor to respect is that of your mother. Mozi, mo. Mozi, mo. That's ancestor. When you lose language, that entire, and I'm just saying some of the Karanga tribes, the Igbos, the Chewas, the Kikuyus, and the rest of you can go back to your language and you'll find that what I'm saying here, the Ifes, the Hausas, and the Akanis and the Ashantis, you can all begin to go back and find out. I mean, the other day, I'm a theologian, a well-calibrated theologian, and I'm studying the other day, and they say, Onyame, Kwame, Onyam Koponi, Onyame, Gainyame, and then they came to Kwesi Broni. They say Kwesi Broni actually means Sunday, which means the God of the white man who is worshipped on Sunday, as opposed to Onyame Kwame, who is the God of the Sabbath. A whole new concept of religion that Africans actually knew. Which day they were supposed to worship vis-a-vis the day that the white man, and all this is in language. Onyame Kwame, Onyam Koponi, and Kwesi Broni. Here is the God we worship on Sunday, and this God belongs to the white man. How do you get lost in a roundabout? There's no corner to hide here.
Shangambire. Wow. You know, the silence is a very good.
I'm sure they can all hear me though, but for the purposes of the video, no problem. My good brother Shakara, him I can call brother. Unlike the other, you know. So just adding to that, yeah. For those of you who are still unaware, again, the African shadow always lives. My apologies. You know, we all know this beautiful piece of, well, those of you who don't know, because I've met Africans who don't know this now. It's called the kola. Yeah. You see this little what looked like a little symbol here? This is responsible for one of the richest business conglomerates in the world that nobody even knows the origins of. Yes, and when this drink started, because in this nut are more healing benefits than we can even write on at least 2 sheets of A4. So when they first started Coca-Cola, you see, they always leave you a history there. But if you don't study your history, then you don't know. Not only were people drinking it as a beverage, because you drink it is also a medicine. So the first or editions of Coca-Cola were not just a nice tasting drink, it was also medicine. But how many, as I said, I've met Africans who don't even know what this is. We took it to the Caribbean, because in the Caribbean too, it's called busy there. Yeah? So again, we have an African continuum that goes on. And the European also understands, and as much as overtly they might say we're backward, we know nothing, well, there's hardly any invention you can think of that doesn't have a leaning into the African spiritual tradition. So like I said to a group of Congolese, each time we've been saying, oh, I don't like these juju men, this obia man, this, you're laughing at yourself, because every time you've ever drunk Coca-Cola, every time you've ever had a vaccination, you've been blessed by the wisdom of the juju person or the obia person.
And I must recommend to all the for the man in the house. It's only that the shops are closed. Please, if your wife is looking for anything in your pocket, she must find some cola nuts. You can chew it, it will help you. Your pencil will write much faster. And, I hope when you are writing on the epitaphs of your wife's memos, your history can be remembered for generations to come. But it will help you to write.
Yes. Shangambiri.
Those who can hear can hear. If you don't get it, forget about it.
Oh wow. You see, I think they're enjoying our conversation so much, still no sign. So are we allowed to still continue, Shangambiri? Yeah? Okay. I'll drop one last question in there. Which is at the very beginning, you know, you told us something significant. You said sometimes people wake up in the morning, you decide today I want to wear red, I want to wear yellow, I want to wear green. And rightfully, some people think this is their own mind just talking to them. And they don't know what effect, even a simple effect of a particular color can have on people. What can you give us, your last, be a parting advice? What can you advise, well, for those of us who don't understand this dynamic, what can make them attune to it more?
We are now living in a disconnected society where we don't have an opportunity in the morning to synchronize our dreams as a family. I grew up in the 60s and the early 70s, where in the evening when we go to sleep, we say Ma, we use mother. I hear you. No. Please listen carefully. Those of you who have done a bit of Egyptology, and you've heard Dr. Clark and other people talking. They're talking from diaspora. I'm not in diaspora. I'm on the ground. I'm coming from where culture is practiced. So my interpretations are organic. So in Karanga, when the sun goes down, we say, Ma, Heru. Now, you can hear. Who is Heru? Go back to Kemet. Find out who is Heru. Ma, Heru. We are submitting you now into the hands of the mother, Heru, who is in the dark. That's where you're going to sleep. That's what we say to you when we are saying goodbye for the evening. Ma, Heru. Ma, Heru. Then in the morning when you wake up, Mangwa, words. Anani. Who is the words from Nani? Because Nani is the tutor in the field of Heru. Mangwa, Anani. Who sat with Nani in the night, in the presence of Heru, and has brought words in the morning for us to talk about. Follow carefully. So when we wake up in the morning, we are consolidating dreams and visions, premonitions, deja vus into the presence of the morning. Then we're able to map up our day to tell, is someone amongst us going to get pregnant? Are we going to have a drought? Is there an army that is coming? Because the spiritual world will have whispered in the consolidation of our dreams in the night. The question, how do we then begin to interpret this information of what I dress and what I put on and etc.? You are in isolation. Your interpretation is isolated from everybody else that is around you. It would be nicer to hear what you dreamt last night, what your wife dreamt, what your son dreamt. And I want to encourage you, good people, if you're still living in diaspora, try and switch off your TV around 8, 9, have family talks with children, find out what they were doing in school, give them water, give them etc. Don't let them go to sleep with Spider-Man on their minds. Just try and find a place where you can, cut off from the world. Just have them for a few moments yourselves. And have this small little family talk around it. You may preserve and protect and develop your children better. Please take your children to sleep. Take away the phones away from them. Please. Have a vault. If you're like me, after 7 in the evening, you make a meeting and say, all of us, from the father of the house to the mother of the house, let's put our phones all here, put them in the vault and lock them there. And as a family, have some moments together. Eat together, talk together, switch off the TV, together. Eat together. Don't eat food while you're watching TV. Actually set up a table and switch off that damn little thing. Some of you will bring up better families without those TV channels. The child is busy eating. They don't even know what mom cooked. They don't even know what it is they're eating. It can't be. Set up the table, walk up to the dining room. I think from tomorrow, you can try this in your own homes. Hello children, I've taken some time to cook for you. Can we all move away from the dining room, from the TV room? Can we come to the table and let's eat together? Switch off that thing, record it if you can. You'll watch it tomorrow when you come back from school. I want to look in your eyes. This is how our mothers used to know that this one is pregnant. This one is. Because once she eats, she starts puking. And it was, why? It was a medical station, so it's just about eating. It's about family, it's about connecting. Sit with your kids at least an hour, 2 hours. Talk to each other, eat with each other, pudding up, drink up, watermelon and fruit salads. Find out what happened in school. What is the problem? Dad, tell us where you were. Mom, tell us where you were. Boy, tell us where you are. Son, tell us where you are. And unite as a family. And as mom and dad, as the grade 2 ones begins to doze off from the table, take them to the bedroom, set them in to sleep, set them in to sleep, set them in to sleep. Early morning when you wake up as a family, come back to the same table again as we're having breakfast before we run for our errands and say, Mangwa, Anani, good morning. How was the night? What did you dream in the night? Then this one will say, I dreamt this. Then I dreamt this. Then I dreamt this. I dreamt this. In the consolidation of those dreams, you'll find why you're putting on, the dress you're putting on. Is it about health? Is it about life? Is it about wealth? Is it about the dangers that are pending? Is it about history? Is it about the place you're going to be going? Is it the attitude you must be having? This is where the grandmothers, I miss you guys. I wish you could, every home must have a grandmother. Every home. Don't send your grandmothers to old age homes, please. Every home must have a grandmother. Because when you tell them what each one of you have dreamt, that old mother with fewer teeth in her mouth, she starts smiling and giggling, or she frowns and etc. Because they still have the knowledge of what all these dreams and visions are all about, and they can paste mangwa words from each one of them and be able to create a story of where we are going. This is how the Neanders, the Kaguris, the Longhouses, the Chawes, the Chaminukas, now olden days, were able to tell us that a few years from now, we are seeing people coming from the sea. People whose ears are shining with the sun. They neither have knees. They are bringing some coins in a small little book. You walk up through all African cultures, you find that those visions and dreams were told to us as far as Cape Town and as up north as Ethiopia, to the arrival of the colonial system. But who bothers listening to dreams? But who cares when those dreams have become a reality? And now who cries when those dreams and realities have become our pain?
Wow. Angambiri Marara Moponga.
You know what Marara means? Marara means rubbish.
Well, this is priceless rubbish. Can I please get a picture with Shangambiri. These last 2 months have been a blessing. Baba Shakara. Let's keep some memories in where they deserve to be.
I think I'm persuaded to say maybe grab something to eat. Let's have something to eat and chew and interact and la 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 la. When we are all have eaten, then we can have some questions and answers at the end. How about that? I think so. So let's meet and greet and we can have another conversation a bit later on. Thank you. Everything that I am is a summary of where I am coming from. I am the present of the past. I want them to sing. That which was in the past is present with you here and now. Now, when you swallow that, maybe this meeting took place in the past.
100%.
If we are children of the same mother, maybe another 3,000 years ago, maybe another 4,000 years ago, maybe 10, maybe 20, we sat in the same hut with our grandmother making some food for us. And we spoke. And we said we'll meet each other in the future. And here we are today. All of you here, we sat in the same village, same house, same hut. Go back a little bit. Go back a little bit. And we all find our space in that little house where our mothers sat with us to create the Africans that we are. Now, if your mind can't stretch that far, I understand the education which you were given. But if you just give the spiritual world a little bit of leeway, it may just allow you to say, if I am Mukanya in Zimbabwe, I am Kabo in Botswana, I am Tsoneng in Lesotho, I'm Jambase in Xhosa, I am Dolo in Zulu, I am Fakudze in Swaziland, I am Simanko in Mozambique, I am Piri in Malawi, in Zambia, I'm Rafiki in Tanzania, I'm Kima in Uganda, I'm Kipi again in Kenya, I'm Gab in Egypt. And these are the great monkey clans within Africa, and I belong there. So should I put all the Kipiagans, the Mokanyas, the Fujianas in one room, and this is my clan name, so goes for the elephants, so goes for the leopards, so goes for the hippos, so goes for the birds, so goes for all the other clans. And if we can all find ourselves in one hut where this whole thing of totem started, is it possible that I'm actually talking to my brothers and sisters? Is it possible? So when I look at you, therefore, you are my brother. And you are my sister. Understanding of that totemic knowledge system binds us together as a people. Tomorrow morning when you walk up around town and you meet another black person, come on, gather some confidence and say, hello brother, hello sister. They may not understand, but speak to their ecological intelligence. They will remember you when they are back home and say, why did you call me brother? And their ancestors would remind them, that was your brother. That was your sister. So within this cosmic, and I want us to stick to this ancestral intelligence again, and give me some few moments, 1 or 2 minutes. Artificial intelligence is an algorithm of collected data. We now have a software that is able to go through all the books that have ever been written, all the researches that are available on public media, the geography, the science, and the history, all consolidated into one database. So when you ask a question to AI, Meta, about anything, Meta is able to go through words, codes, names, etc., and just say, Munumtapa, and it will be able to run through all names written, Igbo. It will go through all the pages that are written on Igbo and Ethiopia, and go all through that, and then take everything that is available in the media and package it on your question and give you an answer. That's artificial intelligence. It's based on readily collected human experience and given in a synthetic way where you're going to be able to understand. Useful information, historically correct. The problem of artificial intelligence, it doesn't have a wife. Doesn't have a wife. Yeah. Young people, when you get married, you can close your ears. You don't know how to live in this world until you have a wife. No, we who have wife and wives understand what that means. Because then emotions. One morning you feel like you can buy a car for this woman. And you buy the car. One morning you feel like you can kill this woman. I mean, you've never been angry as a young man until you get married. Yeah. There is this thing that comes under your throat here. And it comes here. And it blocks you here when you have a wife who asks you a simple question. So, who do you think you are? And you feel you can write a dictionary and an exam before you notice it, temper is written. But this is the reality of life, where emotions are now involved. Artificial intelligence does not have a wife. And I'm saying that in a very philosophical fashion. Artificial intelligence has not experienced to smile in the morning and in the evening you are killing each other. To make children together, and tomorrow morning you are driving in separate directions. We'll meet you in the evening. AI does not know how to take children to school and bandage a wound that is broken. AI does not know what it feels when the tears of your child, oh, this is personal, but I'll share it with you. So I separated my first wife, and she leaves me with children, 4 years and 6 years. And we call mom often. And one morning, we call her. You remember, about 11:30 in the morning. She was here in London. We're in South Africa. We call her. Hi, hello, how are you? It's me talking, of course, trying to react like this with my dad. Hello, how are you? La la la. No, I'm with the kids here. I've just taken them to the restaurant. We're having something to eat. Shami is my oldest daughter. Speak to Ma. Hello, Ma. How are you? La 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 la. They speak their little children chat. And then I said, no, give Taffy the phone to talk also. And then she gives the phone to the younger girl, who was, I think she was about 5 then. And then Taffy mentioned something. That's my second daughter. Says, Ma, I don't want to talk to you. I want to see you. I cried. I'm a man, and by no means an alpha male, very strong man. But I've been to those spaces where, even the book that I wrote, The Women in the Kitchen, Contested Ground, that's the time when was going through that moment, trying to interpret the women's world within a man's space. How do I interact with female energy, but I'm a man, and etc. It's a complex work. Took me 8 years to put this book together. Please take it, read it, and cry for yourselves. But where I'm heading is AI has not been left with 2 children who are 4 years and 6 years. AI has not been told, I don't want to talk to Ma, I want to see her. Ancestral intelligence, however, is the opposite. Dig into your ancestral history, support systems, culture, traditions. Connect with those that can support you. That's when I took them to their grandmother on my mother's side. I took them with the grandmother on their father's side. I called my sister to come and support me, and etc. And close the gap as much as possible so that their growth in the absence of their mother can still be holistic and get a bit of that feminine energy within my space. Now that AI can do. AI can do. And I think while we are discussing the difference between AI and ancestral intelligence, and by the way, when you live here, give credit to me. I came up with the word ancestral intelligence. Because ancestral intelligence has to do with the compilation of your historical past, the compilation of your future expectation, and your present existence, and synergized into a functional system of consciousness of how to behave in the now as you are responding to where you're coming from, where you are, and where you're going. And that algorithm is written in your bloodstream. Knowledge. When you see someone that looks like you and you recognize them, that's intelligence. The same intelligence when you pour water on the ground and water knows where it must flow without you telling it where to flow. It will know. That's knowledge. That's intelligence. And I think that in the midst of us acquiring static academic knowledge, we must not miss this ancestral intelligence, where even if I don't know you, I'll get to know you later. But when I look at you, I see myself. That is Zulu, Sawubona, which means I see you. Not just I see you, I see those that are with you. I see how you have come to be. And because you are, I am. And if I look back, I may just find that what is in me is also in you. Sawubona. And I think this is the love that is missing amongst us as Africans. Begin to look at each other through the eyes of ancestral intelligence than judge each other on the basis of artificial intelligence.
Please, have a drink. I'm not receiving any cues and signs. I can talk all day. This subject fascinates me. I've been studying it actively for 15 years. And I'm also aware, I'll drop a little tidbit in here as we move on, because this also comes down to your tradition. In the UK, we have a world-renowned historian by the name of Robin Walker. And Robin Walker wrote a book called When We Rule. I'll advise all of you to get a copy of this book when you can. And the reason I'm mentioning this book now is, in this book he talks about mining techniques. Mining techniques that modern day high-tech drilling equipment used to take out our gold, diamonds and silver that the Europeans learned from various communities in the Southern African area, because they have a tradition like that of working with the earth. Up till today, most of these high-tech organizations still drilling use the same African concepts of drilling and understanding the land that you're drilling in. So For me, I think we've come to a place where we see the machine, but we do not see the African knowledge behind the machine. Yeah. Another thing you can go home with, every time you get one of these vaccination shots, that technique of vaccination comes from an African who taught the person who apparently was his master, because there was a smallpox epidemic in Boston, Massachusetts, somewhere in the early 1800s. So every time they give you that vaccination, you think, oh, Johnson & Johnson, GlaxoSmithKline, how wonderful the European mind is against mine. You're connecting with your African knowledge right there. Maybe a bit altered, because again, as I said, don't watch the machine. You need to discover what informed the formation of the machine.
Most of us are educated by all lateral means of colonial dictates. We read through history, we see pictures, and we see images. But I doubt how many of us can actually see the technologies and the sciences. When you see the pictures of the ancient Egyptians with golden teeth, you see them with their ankhs, you see them with their designs, the UFOs. I wonder how many of us can actually apply their mind, because the picture is there. Mummification, for example, where the whole science of how to preserve flesh and bone, together. You have some of those, and I'm glad that land is immovable. The British will have stolen it and brought it to London. Yeah. They just could steal the things and bring them here. But I want to challenge you that when you look at some of those pictures, don't just look at them for cosmetic purposes. When you see those golden teeth in the mouths of the mummies, when you see those golden crowns, when you look at some of those golden sticks that are there, don't just look at them as sticks. Maybe go a bit deeper and say, what mineral is that? How did they mine that? How did they purify that? How did they shape that? How did they know it was that and it could behave like that? When you look at the Bushman paintings in the hills in the southern savannah in Sahara, and you find some of those pictures that are standing in broad daylight with the...
Have everyone here. It's an honor to have you, Mama, in the house. And the King, it's an honor to have you in the house. It's been a long journey, actually. 20 years is not 20 days. It's been hard work, but we give all the glory to God. Coast City started from a dream, just looking around to see, oh, there's no African place where people can meet and eat, meet and greet, just like we are here. And that's kicked off the dream. And since then, 2005, it's been a long time, but it's been good. We thank God. And it's good to have everyone here. I'm honored to have you here, having to be with us on a month. You're welcome. Good to have you in the house.
Any celebrations for your 20th anniversary?
It's coming up soon, and it will be announced. Yeah.
Where is the
It's gonna
announcement?
be here.
No, I mean, where will the announcement? Where is the announcement?
Soon. Through him, yeah.
We'll put it on social media.
Okay, social media. Yeah.
It's gonna be a 3 days thing, and we'll let everyone know in
Okay.
due time.
All right.
And you're invited, King. And my queen, special invitation. You should have it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Queen Antonia. Thank you very much. Okay, before we go into the question and answer session, we want to get our brother Shakara to give us a little something.
DJ BS in the mix. Subscribe to DJ BS in the mix.
Nowadays,
Hello one and hello all, with DJ BS in the mix.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel DJ BS in the mix.
Thank you very much.